Hello and welcome to Patito's Gang. I'm Nenna Jemie. The development of a nation is influenced by the conversations its people are having and the issues that are most important to its public. What kind of conversations are Nigerians having? And how does it affect us? Today, the gang dives a bit deeper. Let's take a look.
Well, in the conversations that go on in the public sphere, there don't seem to be some kind of rigor that people, some kind of deep thinking in the conversations that make rounds. I don't know what the problem is. Is it that they're not well informed, or they don't have the capacity to understand? Because we require such deep thinking in the public sphere for a nation to grow. If you remember the history of politics in Greece, when the people like Aristotle, Socrates, and those philosophers, there was always a public debate, deep thinking, and that was how democracy and all that evolved. But we don't see it these days. How can we do to make sure that there's so much deep thinking in our public sphere? Gentlemen.
Well, I would say clearly, not just in public discourse, perhaps in all aspects of our lives. The underlying factor is education, be it sports, even be it the soft issues about religion. How much rigor have we given it such that we think of the other person first before thinking of ourselves? And so what we just find is people lapping up. People want to hear salacious stories. Anything negative becomes news. Fake news are driven far and wide, and that is where you now begin to see a lot of people trying to embrace. But Austin, like you said, it needs to be a bit much more rigorous and much more intellectually savvied, so that we pick a subject, and whether you are going to post it there on the social media or on normal conversations and dialogues, they will be such that at the end of the day, you can always extract something. See what has happened to our political debates, presidential debates, or debates with governors. And I know with governors it's picking up. But in the immediate past, the kind of fecund that comes into people that says they want to represent us is such that it's either they shy away from it,
some don't even want to attend,
or they don't even want to talk about it because they are scared that critical questions are going to be asked of them.
I'd like to take off from what you talk about. The fundamental thing is the education. Now, education in terms of the formal education. Education in terms of the home education. Education in terms of the one we do in our religious institutions. We are socialized not to ask questions. We are socialized not to make inquiries of what is this? Why is this? How is this? What should be? We are socialized not to ask questions, because the moment you ask questions, somebody's going to raise an eyebrow. Why should you? You're not supposed to ask questions. That is just the fundamental problem. For instance, if somebody wants to say, I want to serve, I want to contest election, there are basic questions people should ask them. Why do you want to contest? What have you done in the past to show that you're committed to public interest? If such questions are not asked and people don't want to ask it, the person can come and tell them he wants to build bridges on wherever. So because, as I said, we are socialized not to ask questions. So when people come to the public space, they don't ask questions.
Yes.
Yes.
One of the things you ought to look about is we lack passion in everything we do. And this is actually showcased itself if you look at every sector in Nigeria. Because most people got to where they are without going through the proper training.
Or the rigor.
Required
that
rigor
requires
such positions.
Yes.
So they take it, they get in there, they trivialize everything. And of course, the young ones are looking.
Yeah.
So what do you think they will say? Or what do you think they will do?
No
They say
struggles.
monkey see, monkey do. But let's take that apart. It's also very, very important that somebody have to own this country. Because we don't have another country
At all.
presently other than where we are today. And most people lack, most of us lack what I will consider to be patriotic. We are not patriotism. We don't have that. So when you talk about general discussion within the society, there was a man that just left here. He did mention about the temperament of the people out there. That people are no longer happy. And when people are not happy, their discussions will
yeah.
continue
Yeah,
to
totally.
be in certain fashion.
Yeah.
Even when people are not
Yes.
happy,
Yes.
they can ask themselves, why am I not happy?
Yes.
Who is
And
making me not to be happy?
what can I do?
to
Can I-
get myself out of
we-
So
we-
because people are not ready
we will
to
get
ask
there.
themselves this kind of questions.
Yeah, we will get there.
That's why the public
We'll-
space is
well,
in
We'll get there. People can ask themselves, why am I not happy?
Yes.
All those questions are easy to ask. But we are talking about somebody thinking deep
That is
within
it.
himself to get hold of his life and decide. But because of the environment in which you and I operate, that makes it so much difficult. You see, you might not understand this.
No, because no.
In fact, the environment should instigate.
Yeah.
What? How
You
do I
said
put it?
mother of invention.
Yes, the
Necessity.
environment should make
Necessity.
us ask questions.
Yes.
It is even the environment, because when everything is not right, that's when
Yes.
you ask questions.
Yeah.
When
Yes.
everything is right, why do you need to go
Yeah, there was
No,
a, there was
but again, you find that most of the things that we do, thinking is not
Yes.
an easy job.
It's not an easy job.
It's the most difficult thing to do.
yes,
And most of us don't have time to think.
yes.
People say, how can I think? They think that thinking is the same thing as worrying. When they are worrying, they think that
They
they're
think
thinking.
they're thinking.
No.
Thinking is research. Thinking
yeah.
is rigorous study. And to answer your point, in economics, when you have something, means you lack
Something.
it because you can't have your cake and eat it.
And eat it.
The truth is that there is a social conditioning that I have seen that Nigerians have lapped up without necessarily going to school. How comes it, you may ask, that some of these social shows that you see on television, dances and what have you, Big Brother Africa and all that kind of stuff, and young people can go out there and win humongous prizes, and you expect somebody to sit in university and be doing critical thinking.
Yes.
At the end of the day, he will now have to now subsume himself or herself
Yes.
to this set of people who have not done any thinking.
Yes.
Something is wrong about our social culturation.
Yes, I agree with you in the sense
That's
that
socialization.
That's socialization, especially
yes.
that
also
That-
Big Brother and Big
Yeah,
Brother
yeah.
Nigeria, Big Brother Africa should
Yes.
be banned. If I were the president,
Yes.
I should ban it.
well,
It doesn't add any value.
freedom of expression.
No. It's not about it. Should
Well,
be, it doesn't add any
it should
value
be
to
controlled.
No, not
It
even
should
be.
be
Well, there's no
controlled.
need.
So I
the
don't
monies
know.
that could have been used to sponsor better things and provide education and all that,
See,
they're using it to,
I don't,
for
no,
that kind
I
of.
don't, I don't watch it. That does not mean that you deny other people that watch it.
It doesn't make
The
sense
point-
for a developing nation.
No, it's okay.
There has to be control
No,
of whatever comes in.
There is even more deteriorated television this thing that they show other places, programs they show other places. So that's not even. Yeah, I don't know if you've watched Jerry Spring, whatever his name was.
Jerry Spring.
Jerry Spring, whatever his
Spring,
name.
yeah.
Yeah. So if you watch that guy and see what he displays and how people comes and all manner of things going on. But the point we are trying to go back again is, in our country, Nigeria, I come to realize that our institutions, take for instance, our universities, we don't pay attention to research.
That's it.
And where there's no research, it makes it so difficult for
Yeah.
people to think.
Yes.
Because your thinking is limited to what you see and what is around you. So, ab initio, we're already in the negative before we go into the positive. So, I strongly believe that our government, be it who, our government must make a consensus effort to make sure that our institutions are straightened, so to create an enabling environment for people to think out for themselves and have a good conversation.
There's something
in the
about
society.
this government thing I sometimes I feel not comfortable to talk about. I said that we have a social problem in the sense that at home, do we encourage our children to ask questions? When your child asks you a question, say, stop, why are you asking me?
Yes.
We kill that spirit of inquiry. When the child goes to school, he asks the teacher a question, you kill the child's spirit of inquiry. When it comes to public space, you kill the spirit of inquiry. So how is he going to survive?
Well, I could have said the home you come from, but it doesn't matter.
On that note,
Yes.
on encouraging children to,
Inquisitiveness.
be inquisitive, ask questions and all that. We'll return after the break. We'll pick it up from there. Don't go away. You're watching Patito's Gang.
The gang believes a lot of public conversations now lean towards negativity, as well as fake or inaccurate news. What's your take on this? Let's take it to the streets.
When the government is saying that way, it will be reduced. We don't want people that are just striving to get there.
Well, we're still discussing why there is no critical thinking in the public sphere. And when we have that, it brings about growth in the society. And I think it was you, Joe.
Who was talking about the
Yes.
fact that,
Our children not ask
Yes,
questions.
you don't allow children, and that's every child is born
unconsciously.
an entrepreneur.
Yes.
An entrepreneur is person who asks questions, trying to find solutions to situations. When your child, as they're growing up, trying to pick something from the house, you say, don't touch that. Don't.
Every time.
Every time, don't. And when people grow up in an environment of the don't, they don't make progress.
Yeah.
So in our environment in the church, if let's say those of us who are Christian people in the church, we have the auditorium, the pastor talks to us. We don't ask him questions. You can't ask him questions. And as long as you don't ask, you don't know. You only know as much as he tells you. You can't ask deep questions.
Let me ask you this question.
Yes, please.
Okay, well, I'm asking you because
Yes.
youth do ask us.
Yeah.
Daddy, mommy, how do you explain a situation where we have people that we call politicians, whether in the National Assembly, whether it's in the State Assembly, whether as governors, whether as presidents and what have you, and we hear quite a number of things about them that we cannot understand. One, for instance, a father and a son are facing trial, and yet they are going back for re-election. Somebody is in the prison and he has contested for election and he has won.
And he won.
So they ask you that question.
Yes.
What is going to be your response?
Your response is to be, that's an opportunity, that's a learning opportunity to begin to educate them, tell them that why it's so is because the people don't know how to ask questions and moral questions. Ask moral questions.
I
Give
think
them the
people,
framework.
I think it goes beyond morality. I think
What I mean by moral question is that society, if somebody is in jail, it means that he did something wrong. Now, if he's in jail, for instance, or in cell because he did something wrong, and people are still voting him, that means the people are supporting what. So it becomes a learning opportunity.
I just wanted to chip in
Yes.
this because it's very, very important to understand what we're talking about here. One of the things that we must realize is that culture means a whole lot to the learning process of human beings.
We
across the world.
contextualize culture.
Yes.
Yeah, because you see,
Wait a minute. In Nigeria, we are known to be respectful. There are some certain questions that you just don't ask.
culture is
Just a
dynamic.
second, I'm coming up with something, unless you want to conclude it there for me. There are some certain things that you just don't ask questions about. But that's not the area I'm going.
Such as
No, a relation of mine.
Yes,
A
yes,
female,
yeah.
a girl, relation of mine told me.
Yes.
She asked me a question
Yes,
about man-woman relationship.
yes.
And I took time to explain everything, even
Yes.
the way she'd be treating her husband,
Yes.
and all that.
It depends
She
on the
said-
age. It depends on the age of that person asking that
said-
question.
Depends on the age and
and
the
the
exposure.
exposure.
Good.
She said that if her father
Yes.
had taught her these things,
Yes.
she wouldn't have made the mistake she made.
Fantastic.
In the past.
That's fantastic. But let me even tell you, let me even, shock you here. There are some certain information you give to a child that will even make her turn the other way.
We agree.
Okay, if you agree on that, the question here lies that because of our culture and the way we are all brought up, there's nothing wrong with it. But the problem we are having is that we don't have anything to look up for.
Now, so that's
And when you don't have anything to look up for example, you only be hearing theoretically how cars are being made, but you've not been able to go to a place where these cars were actually manufactured. So everything is information taken in, but you've not been able to
That's how
visualize
we
it.
can encourage
That's
our
yeah.
people to-
That's
So-
why
it's
some
not- it's not
universities,
Yes.
some universities, have internship program
Thank you.
where you have to go and see
And practicalize how this is done.
Yes.
Yes.
And the institution insists that the student must be taken from one department to the other. 3 months.
Yes.
Remember,
What
And
actually?
so that
remember,
way you come out.
Have you
with another
noticed?
person.
Have you
Remember,
noticed in the
remember,
past? Have you
just a
noticed in the
moment,
past?
Just a moment. Remember, in the public space, governors, politicians, public leaders, we don't ask them questions. They even think it's an infradig or it's an insult
Yes.
to ask them questions.
Please add religious leaders.
Yes.
And religiously, they think it's insulting to them
We-
if you ask them.
No.
Because you know why it's
No,
like
but
that?
that's what the examples you are giving does not exist within we. I'm talking of we
Who are the
that are educated.
No, no, no.
Because we as Christians,
No,
we are
no.
asking questions
What we're
now.
saying here-
Do you understand?
what we're saying here
No,
now-
but you are.
The
You
whole
are
sense of education
Yes.
is to enable you to ask the right
Yes.
question.
no,
She
no,
never
no.
has the right
Yes.
questions.
Ask the right question.
That's what the education is
but
about.
he's
You
trying
have
to
give you answers.
No, you are trying to make it look like we don't ask questions. We do ask questions.
Again,
The point-
it's not just about asking questions.
Just a
It's about
second.
asking the right
question.
And
That's-
it's because one
however-
person in the military.
No, but you have not differentiated
Let me
it
give you an
before.
example.
You have not differentiated
Let me
it
give you an
before.
example.
You said that we are brought up not to ask questions.
Basically.
And you gave examples of how questions have not been asked. And you even brought how the governors see themselves as laws. My question is this, it's very clear, is that yes, most of us, and you're asking who are most of us, most Nigerians ask the right questions. But asking the right questions, because you can't just, gloss over it and, paint everybody with white brush and say people don't ask questions.
Think it requires time.
Yes.
You see an European or an American or all these people are scientists. They see they can work on one thing for years, but we don't have the patience
We don't have the patience.
to
We don't have the
wait
discipline.
and work. We don't have the discipline.
Why is
to-
our political democracy
Yeah,
not growing
we
as
are
it's
not.
supposed
We are, to take time. Some things take time before they come. They evolve.
Yeah,
People talk of democracy, for instance,
because they
democracy-
usually catch them young
democracy,
before
for instance.
before they do anything in the Western world.
How do we do it? That's why we are here
Yeah,
right now.
yes.
We are saying that
How-
for us as
How you do
Nigerians,
that? I think we have laid it out here. How you do that? One of the ways you do that is, first of all, the government have to take interest in people.
You
What
know,
about
you,
the-
you,
what
you
about the
always, you
individual?
always refer to government. Government
Wait,
is
because you can't operate without the government.
No. It's not about
You
government.
can't. We are
This-
talking about-
government is not going to tell me
We've
how
got
to
to
ask
be able to
questions.
articulate
Government is not going to teach me how to ask questions.
and
It's
inculcate
not going to teach me how to ask
the right
questions.
ethos.
It's not government
We've
that's going
got
to teach me that.
to be able to articulate, assimilate, and disseminate
Yes.
the right ethics, the soft skills of integrity, hard work, and the fact that there must be law and order.
Yes.
And that anything that you do that is
Outside
dysfunctional
of this,
has
ask
to be
question.
punished. Has to be punished, because even if we have a motley crowd of people who do the right things, and then a vagabond just comes along with such impunity and then throws everything overboard,
we should
become
ask questions.
discouraged.
Why?
So I think we need ethical revolution. And when I say ethical revolution, real ethical revolution,
How is it going to
we
start?
need
Who
to
is going
get,
to do it?
we need to
We
get
start
back,
from the home.
we need to get back from the home, like you said, in a religious institution,
In educational institutions.
in a neighborhood settings,
And humility too.
to begin
We
to
need to be
now
humble.
teach and reward good behavior and be seen that we are punishing bad behavior. Until this is done, we really haven't started.
People need to be humble and recognize that all of life is a learning process. The fact that you're an adult does not mean that you know everything. When somebody asks you a question, why did you do this? You owe that person
Yes.
an obligation to answer, especially if you're a public official. You don't just think because you're a public official, for instance, you now know everything. You don't. And so when your people come ask questions, how did you use our money? Or
That's
why
it.
are you building this road? When those questions are, you now think because you are now the leader, the president, you now know all the answers.
I think,
You know,
I
there's
think
there's
at the
this
lo-
book.
at the- at
I
the
think
local
there's this
government
book we
level,
should all read. I read it many years ago.
Yeah.
By Thomas Friedman. The world is flat.
Okay.
I read many years ago.
Yeah,
There was
Thomas.
something that he said there that in OPEC, oil producing nations, OPEC members,
Okay, yes.
that when a new government comes to power, he takes the oil, put an oil section, because that's where the
Under
money
his
is.
control.
Yes, put a lid on it and sit on the lid.
Yes.
Any day, the citizens begin to ask questions that, what do you use our money for? That period will be the time government say, who are you to be asking me how I use the money? Okay, when was the last time you paid tax? They will now introduce tax. Now, the tax system that government being hungry, their eyes are red now because of tax collection. They are now saying, look, because we have started asking them questions, what do you do with our oil money? And they are telling us, okay, there's tax to be paid.
Yes.
And that's the truth.
Transparency.
All this this thing is as a result of the questions we are asking.
Transparency International
Well,
has
we can never
issued-
stop. We can never
They
stop
have
asking
issued.
questions.
They have issued.
Well, we can never.
We can never stop asking questions.
Yes.
Yes, we have to keep
And
asking.
then we should never stop asking questions.
And they should.
And the right
Our
question.
leaders should be able to answer our questions.
Yes.
Without any
And if
direct-
they don't answer it, they should be
No,
punished for not
there
answering those questions.
there are consequences.
Punish
for not
them with your
answering questions.
votes.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Yeah, on that, I think we need to go because time is far spent. But the point is made that we need to think deeper than we're doing right now. We need to learn to ask the right questions. So, because asking the right questions will elicit the right answers, so that societal problems are solved. We need to be more interested in research and research and development, so that the
Social
society,
research.
both in social research, academic research, industrial research, marketing research, all manner of research. And we should have the discipline, the patience to wait and do these things because they don't just come overnight. So on that note, see you next time.
The government believes the public should have more positive, productive conversations to help develop our country. Well, that's all that we have time for today on Patito's Gang. Thank you for joining us. We hope you found today's episode to be informative and enlightening. Join the conversation. Be sure to follow us on all our social media pages displayed right there on your screen. I am Nenna Jimye. And until next time, take care and be well.